Unless I can calculate how it passes. We don't have any public here, so we can move on to old business. And we're gonna go over the strategic plan review.
Yeah, so just to recap, so these are divided into goals, objectives, and activities. So we can build upon these, but this is what we're going to present to City Council on June, do you remember?
16th.
16th, yeah. You
I
checked
got it
it.
on my phone.
Yeah. So June 16th, the work session will review this. They'll get a copy of this. There'll be an agenda. There'll be a 1-hour work session starting at 6. The City Council will have a big round table set up in City Council chambers. You all will be there hopefully with me. We'll take them through this. They'll already have a copy beforehand. And we'll talk about a little bit more in depth about the background. Ricky Johicki's on the council now, so she can give her 2 cents since she started it. And then they will bless it with their little holy water, and away we go. Then it will be adopted at the July council meeting, and then it'll be official. I think it's important for them to know what you guys are working on.
Mm-hmm.
So, also a part of some of this discussion will be about some of these activities, like, oh, they might ask, where have you thought about an outdoor performance venue, or whatever, right? There might be some discussion about more about details. But mostly we'll just be sharing some of the vision and things that people want in Grande based on the outreach. So, this one, of course, develop a shovel-ready plan by finding a location, by surveying possible property owners, outdoor space, facilitate robust community outreach with public input efforts to ensure priority of performance venue location. That was something we sort of wanted to double check, as you guys remember. Consult performing artists with regard to design and location, of course, is all part of that develop a shovel-ready plan. And then, of course, obtain funding through local, state, federal, and foundation sources comes next. That will get built out with specifics, or not. It could just be, these are some of the funders that we found. Once we have a shovel-ready plan, kind of engineered drawings, then it's easy to go fundraise. Because then you can show your vision, we have a location, we have everything secured, and it's ready to go to get funded. So, with the playground, for example, there was a huge public process, we had a final design, and then we pitched that final design to grant funders and the community and the grants funded the project, and now we're constructing the playground. Right? Everybody follows along with that. So the next one is encourage building owners to contract with artists to paint murals on their building walls. So objective 1, coordinate outreach efforts with building owners. So there's the Grand Main Street, the Chamber, the city, a mural map. There's a typo there. Create a map for art walk for downtown. List of artists willing to paint. That's sort of under that coordinate outreach efforts. Objective 2, develop local funding source or grant fund to pay for refresh of murals on private property. Talking about incentive programs there. That could probably be built out, but that's okay for now. Establish more dedicated spaces for public art. And this is sort of all over town. That's what in the wild, that's how I interpret that. Look for opportunities to install art in parks. So the activities there. Encourage the installation of rotating or temporary art installations. There's some work there with Main Street Chamber, high traffic areas, encourage interactive art. Objective 3, maintain currently installed art in public places, spaces. So that's all more dedicated spaces for public art. Support out-of-the-box projects. Look for outreach opportunities to encourage and learn about unique ideas or projects. To do that, we would attend community events and festivals. Work with Safe Routes to School Coalition to encourage public art and wayfinding signage to get kids safely to school. That all makes sense? You stop me if you want, and then we'll recap at the end. Goal 5, promote art-focused festival or events downtown. Partnering with Main Street or downtown businesses and or city departments to create and promote at least one art-focused downtown event per year. And a bunch of activities, working with Main Street, developing sponsorship, inventorying the calendar to coordinate the best scheduling, collaborating, exploring opportunities to integrate public art with those events, etc. And then number 6 and final is supporting and developing spaces for art displays and art viewing spaces. So this one is utilizing a cross-departmental team to identify and assess potential public art installation locations. So this is a little different than in the wild, right? This is specifically art viewing spaces or art displays in art viewing spaces. Working with Chamber and Main Street again, outreach to local businesses, coordinate with the planning department, when new public development could designate a space for public art, use the city's art policy for selecting and commissioning public art, and exploring partnerships with local businesses to integrate permanent public art into their business. So there's your plan and goals and objectives and activities. I feel like it's pretty clean. It's not perfect by any means, but it's you can follow it. It's clear. There's
Yeah.
It is
attainable
much more
goals and
concise than it
objectives.
was.
Yeah.
Instead of sort of your brainstorm, which was great. I took all that and I just cleaned it up and
You just
made it.
resorted it,
clean.
which is
Yeah.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now it's like, oh, okay.
This is
now I
much
can
easier to
follow.
read. Yeah.
And I really like the way you laid it out.
Good.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
really
it's,
nice.
I think that for the
Ricky's
purpose.
gonna be so proud of us. Ricky's gonna be so proud of us.
know,
Well,
she's
proud
gonna-
of you, and she says because you did this. But
She's gonna be like, wow, it's organized.
look at you. Anyways, sorry.
Okay, so then down below, so keep in mind tonight's the night where you're going to tell me to change something or not before that work session because that's kind of we're out of time when it comes to that.
Mhm.
So if you're seeing something that sticks out to you, like grab that. So here are expected benefits, of course, economic opportunities for artists, of course. Opportunities for organizations to perform that maybe don't have a space. Transforming underused public spaces can engage community.
I actually have a question on the first one.
Go.
It says opportunities for local artists promote the visual arts. Can we combine that or make it so it's just arts in general so that it encompasses visual
Yeah.
and performance arts? Or do we want to
Maybe
keep
there's
those separately? Or do we want to keep those separate? God, I can't talk today.
Well, it's separate in these two paragraphs, 1 and 2,
Yeah.
right? So it's up to you. They may or may not. You could take visual out and just.
I guess these
arts.
are the benefits of each individual goal, so no, that's okay. It's alright, I see.
Kinda, yeah.
No, that
It's-
makes more
It's
sense
kind of
then.
spelled out. This is for visual. This is for performing.
Yeah, that makes more
And
sense.
then we go to underused public spaces and installations, rotating installations. So all these were written by you all, and I
Yeah.
just copied.
Yeah, no, that makes sense now that I've looked at it better that way.
Okay.
Jeez, Amy.
I know. I'm telling you.
And then here's the festival, of course. Festival will be a unique opportunity to utilize downtown spaces as art spaces outside of their normal function and draw attention to local artists and art organizations.
One more question.
Yes.
We have 6 points or goals,
Yep.
but you only have 5 expected benefits.
Well, not me, but you all have 5.
Okay.
Yes.
We have 6
Yeah.
goals, but
Let's-
there's only 5 benefits, so we
Yeah, let's
probably
take-
need to identify
Let's
that.
take a peek at those. So performance venue, I think that was addressed down
Mhm.
below. That was the performing arts, right?
Yep.
And then building owners, contract owners. So this is the one that's missing, I think, murals. So I don't know what's happening. If we scroll down, so yeah, murals
Yep,
isn't
the murals
mentioned
is
here.
missing, so
So if we want to match them, we can. I don't think they necessarily have to match. There's going to be more benefits. These are the highlighted benefits, but it's up to you all.
The thing is, a lot of the points that are already hit are the points that we would hit with
With the murals.
with
Yeah,
another thing about
sure.
murals.
That's another good point. So when it says visual
if
arts,
we're-
it kind of already
Yeah,
is
and
a
if we're
double.
saying the things over and over again, they're gonna start to
Yeah,
not off
yeah,
while I read.
fair.
yeah.
They already might because we are long-winded people.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Well,
it's up to you.
we are all like the arts commission, cause we're already there in that art mindset. We gotta perhaps look at this more along the lines of just an everyday person in the community reading through this.
Mhm.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because
Yeah.
if it were me and I were reading a document or something that had knowledge I wasn't familiar with, I would look to correlate this is the goal, this is the benefit. I
Yeah.
would want that. But,
So if you look at the top one, I think it also includes murals, which
Yeah.
which is definitely, promoting the visual arts, encouraging residents to not only engage
Mhm.
with art, etc. So I think that one's hitting two of them,
I think it is covered,
and
yeah.
that's why they don't
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
But
Reading it through again, it really does, it does cover all 6 with our 5
yeah,
benefits.
like the thing is, this document is gonna live beyond everybody, and it will
Mhm.
be like when in 2 years from now, when somebody's sitting here and be like, we should do a whatever.
It'll be a living
It's
document
like, well,
that's,
no,
yeah.
it's not in the plan. Like, we should do that,
Yeah.
right? And I just saw this in my ear. It's great.
Yum.
I was building boxes all day for a playground thing.
Ah,
Okay, challenges, of course. Getting enough of both artists and businesses on board, of course. Citing proper venues for display. Creating some sort of oversight committee to organize and pair artists and businesses. That's a common theme for this top 3, which I think they're fine being separate. It's all going to be challenging. Cost, obviously. And that is predominantly the performing arts venue, I think,
Yes.
and maybe the funding for the murals. Finding proper space to build will also prove tricky. That's obviously performance
Yeah.
venue. Developing underutilized public areas can face challenges like securing funding, community resistance, etc. Of course, balancing different tastes in art and ensuring sustainability can be tricky. Somehow, someway, every mural is met with some sort of criticism, except for the one at the library. Like, I've heard 0, and I don't know if it's because it's so good, or if it's because it's such a generic theme that makes sense. Because sometimes there's an upside down unicorn buffalo, and it's like people are like, "What are you doing?" And that's still public art, and it still brings people, and it's still engaging. But I think for whatever reason, that one just ticked all the boxes for people. I've heard 0. So I think that is a concern or a challenge potentially, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I think it's good to have variety as well.
Yeah.
Let's see, implementing rotating art installations can be challenging due to funding, logistics, city garbage, etc. An arts festival would require recruitment, downtown partner buy-in, volunteer coordination, and more. Reproducibility of an event would depend on sufficient citizen attendance and sustainable funding, obviously. So, just pause on challenges.
That's pretty cut and dry. Pretty
I
detailed.
think you guys hit most of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure the city council might bring up more, or maybe not,
But
but I think we got a really good start. All right. Potential partnerships, of course, all these listed. Obviously, there's also funders that aren't really listed that could be partners, but these are all the normal players that we would anticipate. Tourism and promotion, etc. Is that the end of it? That might be the end.
Yep.
I like it.
Alright. So, any final thoughts? Back to the doc.
It's a beast, but it looks good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I would be okay with, like, obviously the city council adding to some of this if they have things that they wish to, other partnerships that they're like, why didn't they add this person, or
Sure.
problems or
Sure.
benefits. I am totally okay with them adding stuff to it, but I would prefer if they didn't change any of the goals, objectives, or activities.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I just wanted to make
not-
sure.
It's not on their purview
It's-
really to do that.
I didn't think so, but I just want to double check that we aren't gonna come back and they've taken it and cut it to shreds, and it's like, what is happening anymore?
That's a reasonable concern. Yeah, it would be highly unlikely. The only thing they would do is ask why this and why not this,
Yeah.
or would you consider changing this to that? But they would
Mhm.
ask you to consider that. They wouldn't demand it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's ready.
I think
Take
it. Yeah. I
to the
think.
work session.
I think it looks really good. Thank you, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Really good, Stu.
I was like, headphones on, leave me alone, like just hammer it out. It was awesome. And it came. I was like, sweet, this looks good. It's great.
Mhm.
Dang. Nice. No, it really does
Yeah.
look pretty stellar. So
Right on.
thank you.
It's good stuff. Okay, cool. The names are listed here. I took all the names out of the document because
Yeah.
those names will change, and we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Oh, now let's see if we can bring up that other thing. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Arts for All.
Thank you. Is that next?
Taylor's
Yes.
not here. Doesn't Taylor usually head that? No.
No, that's a Parks and Rec program.
Oh.
So
okay.
it's
Oh, no.
just the
Taylor
update of
did
how it went. And
How did it
went,
go?
How it went was canceled
Oh no, really?
No.
because we didn't. There were two groups of people that wanted to host a table. Chris beat the shook the bushes or whatever the phrase is. Just did everything he could to recruit folks to come down. Was in it when it just was unable to. So there would have been 2 tables plus the Parks and Rec table, and unfortunately that's just not going to cut it for an event. So
Mhm.
we talked about it quite a bit, and a lot of the reason was it's just too busy of a time of year.
Mhm.
Little League's happening, all the school
Mhm.
stuff is like chaos. People are like eye on the finish line. It's really, really busy. That day was, I think, there were maybe 3 community things going on that day. So people are busy. So we thought this event is probably more appropriate for fall, winter, especially winter when things are
I would say
Dead.
it's inside, so do it in
Exactly.
the winter.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and if you're doing
After
it at
Christmas,
Riveria,
like-
you have the ability to do it where you can make messes and easily clean them up. Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of where we landed. It's like, all right, let's start over. See if we change it to kind of after the holidays, when like
Yeah.
January, February, when people are like,
Mhm.
when's winter gonna be over? And then there's a school like event, maybe
Mhm.
end of January kind of thing, where it's
Yeah.
like the worst of the worst. So that's kind of the plan. If you guys are good with that,
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Mhm.
That's unfortunate for this year, but fortunate for
it's
next
just
year.
bad timing. So.
Yeah. Signal box wrap design approval.
Okay.
We're just
So-
approving the little thing that goes on there,
Yeah.
right?
So it looks like this.
Yeah.
This banner. The question. There you go. I said hit pause, so he said, I know you said hit pause, but here's an idea. This is what they want to put across the bottom. So the art would just shrink up a skosh, and then this would be just wrapped around the bottom. My only suggestion is that we have a city logo of some kind, or whether it's Art Commission and City Parks and Rec, on the other side, or have them some additional like. Nobody's gonna see this driving, right?
Mhm.
They might see a tiger. They might.
But
read
is it
one,
gonna be
two,
the
three
tiger
words.
on each?
Each one would be the school.
Okay, so like
Like
the,
Greenwood
yeah.
Giants and whatever. As far as I know, this is on. This I really didn't want to wait till tonight to do because we're on super stress. Get it done mode by July 1, when the fiscal year starts over. Because I lose my budget for this then July 1. So, but I didn't get a ton of responses for it. So I brought it to the meeting. Just double checking that you guys are all good, but
I'm
I
good
just
with
need-
adding it, but I
consensus.
agree that adding the Arts Commission and
Yeah,
or
Arts, yeah,
city
logo,
and or
yeah.
city graphic on the other side would be good.
Yep.
and I'm just gonna go with consensus on that. Anyway, we're on the home stretch, and we showed you the designs last month, so I don't think we need to do that. But that's it for that. That was easy. I just wanted to triple check before we did this, and then you guys are like, no advertising, because that's what it says. And this could be advertising, but it's really not. I mean, it's a school.
Yeah.
We we did remember, we removed a lot of the ones that said things on them, like
Mhm.
the kid art. Some
Yeah,
said like
like
McDonald's
McDonald's
or whatever.
or, yeah.
So we
Well, and I
removed
think
those.
if it were a private school, then there would be an advertising issue. This is a public school. I don't think that's an advertising thing.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you.
On to new business.
County Fair. We
Woo.
have the same place we always have.
Okay.
Already got a hold of them, and the theme this year is stars, stripes, and summer nights. And I already got the little noisy doodah toys, tchotchke things for the kids. And that's what I forgot. I forgot the receipt to turn in for that. Everything's going ahead as planned.
Love
We
it.
shouldn't need to buy a whole lot of decorations because we've got a lot of stars and stripes stuff already.
That makes sense.
So did we pay that bill already? The $40 fee or whatever it is? Did they send that, do you know?
They're sending it to
To me? you?
yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Well, I don't think I've paid it, but I don't think I've seen it.
If it comes to me, I'll get it to you.
Remind me of the date of County Fair.
It's the last week of July, first week of August. It goes
Thank
over
you.
that first weekend of August. So I think
Ah.
this year, I think it's like the 30th through the 4th or 30th through the 3rd or something
Yeah,
like
30th through the 3rd, I believe.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, well, the third's a Sunday, so.
that. Okay,
it's
so
probably
the
second.
29th through the 2nd, yeah.
Is it Tuesday?
It's
through
Wednesday through
It's
Saturday.
Wednesday.
I know
30th
that.
through the 2nd.
Okay.
You don't need anything from the group, or I was waiting for Katie to ask this, but you don't need.
Sorry, I was just writing
No,
that
you're
down.
totally cool.
Well, it's still a little early to, it depends on how we want to do if we want to do a summer break, which normally we do. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay, you'll reach out then, sounds like.
Yeah.
Cool.
Staff reports. Anything from anybody? Director?
I don't think so.
Parks and Rec's gonna buy the pig train.
No, not that I know of. Nobody's asked me to buy it. I don't want it, that's for sure. I don't know where I would store it and where I would use it. Or if my insurance would allow me to use it. I have no idea.
Well, the Lions Club had it,
Yeah.
but they're not doing.
Well, the Lions Club
They're
probably
getting
still
rid of
owns
that?
it.
Yeah,
they,
it's gone. It won't happen this year.
yeah, they
It's
canceled
gone.
Hog Wild Days.
Yeah.
It's done.
Well,
Save that for
And
Commissioner
Pig Train
comments.
is up for sale, and it's like, Pig Train.
That'd be fun.
Wonder if Arts, I don't know if we've got the money, but
it'd be fun for Arts
Parks
for
and
All.
Rec.
Could be awesome for camp.
But yeah, and Arts for All, we could have it for Arts for All.
I need your help.
In January.
Well, could we do it at the fair?
In the snow.
Yeah.
Skis on it.
Tell me a second.
Just don't
Do we have anything? Okay, so information, commissioners,
Let's
submit time cards.
yeah, that's, no, does anybody have a time card or any hours they
No.
wanna give?
No,
for the
just
time
put me
card?
down for 2.
No,
You have to do it
fill it
yourself. Them's the rules.
Yep.
out.
We don't make them. We just have to follow them.
It's true.
Any other commissioner comments besides pig train?
Got it.
He's right. I did there.
It's in there.
So we can ask next meeting if anybody else wants to buy the pig train. What happens if we vote to buy the pig train?
We
Then
give Stu apoplexy.
I'm sure the city's insurance will say, sorry. But that's, I'm sure what will happen next. It's one phone call I don't have to make.
tried to buy the pig train.
What even is that? I mean, I know it because I've seen it, but what runs it? Is it a little go-kart that runs it?
Yeah,
Or is
little
it,
Yeah.
go-kart motor,
Okay.
the little,
Yeah.
You told that 4-wheeler?
or is it a lawnmower that tows it?
it's not a very
Wait,
big.
does the
It's
like
no.
does the front engine like lawnmower come with it, or is it just the back half? Because that would be hilarious if it's just the back half.
Honestly, here's the thing. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna take the back half. We're gonna stick it like on these things. We're gonna say public art downtown. Boom. There's
Yeah.
There you
on
go.
like 7-foot posts.
Pig train.
That'd be awesome. People drive by. What the
Well, it doesn't have to stay the pig train, we could make it whatever.
Sheep train, goat train. Where do you want?
The whole thing's funny though.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. cracking himself up right now.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else from anybody? We're good.
I
We
think
need to
we're
send
good.
off the things. All the
Stopping
things
the
are
live
sent off.
stream.
Okay.